All right, guys, I just got this in the mail. I don't think anybody sent it. I think the company sent this thing. It's directly from something called, I don't know, Morning Save out in Texas. Yeah, I did decon it real quick, but it is called the Quirky Flat Lock. I have never, look how thin that is, never seen anything like this guy. Let's get rid of the package. They say, took a look, it says slides where, that's a credit card talking. Anywhere a credit card goes, this will go. I'm not sure I'd want this in my wallet, but anyway, it says it's strong, carry it anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And it'd be cool to be able to carry a little thin thing in your wallet, but let's cut it open. Let's take a look here. See what we got. Tough package. Come out of there. All right, what do we got? Move the pick out of there. Let me find, I had the key here a minute ago. All right, so we got some weirdness here. Let's take a look at this guy. I guess that's the front. Yeah, this may be a little harder to pick than what we anticipate. It's got all these little dimple things. I don't know if those are, let's take a look inside of there. If those are true, find a light. If those are actual dimples in there, or, yeah, there's some dimples in there, all right. On the bottom, I think you can see them. I'll get the lock cam and we'll put it in there and take a look, but that right now that would be cheating. Let's see if we can figure out how to beat this thing first. Let's see if this, get that out of here. See if this thing works. So let's see. This thing folds up. That's cool. I guess that would easily go on a keychain. This is a lot thicker than a credit card, though, I got to say. Let's slide them in there. So it goes like this, I guess. So slide them up there and then slide them according to the arrow to the left. And there we go. Okay, so you see we got a little cutout here. Let's take that key out of there. Close this guy up. Maybe not. Maybe the key has to be in there, I'm guessing here, to push the key open. Now it closes. All right, so now we lock him back up. So that right away tells me that when we push the key to the left, the key is actually pushing the actuator out of that cutout. All right, so that's something we can take a look at. The thing that worries me, though, all these little dimples, I don't know what they do. There's definitely a load of them in there, though. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them up inside of there. Yeah, I don't know. They just sit there. It looks like they're on a circuit board or something. I don't see. Let me try get this guy. They don't appear to mash down. They don't appear spring-loaded. So I think we're okay there. That may just be like thrown in there for confusion. All right, so we know it's got to push that way. So let's take a look in here. Let's just take the pick and shove over. Just ignore those dimples for a minute. And push everything over and see if we can get it open. And we can't. Okay. All right, on the left, I am seeing a spring. And that spring is probably to tension the key, so I'm not going to mess with that. There's another little slot up there, too, on the right. Let's push that up and see what happens. Oops. That is definitely spring-loaded, whatever that is. So I'm wondering if we push that dude up, then push to the left. And there we go. All right. There's a spring-loaded detent. If you just push the slider to the left, that little detent apparently blocks it. So you got to push that out of the way. Doesn't appear to be that complicated of a mechanism. Of course, I can't lock it without putting the key back in. So you got some, I guess, some intrusion detection there, unless somebody repicks it to get it closed. Tell you what, let's go ahead. I can't imagine this costs very much or is rare. So let's go ahead and grind off the 4 rivets. And let's take a look at the mechanism. I think that'd be fun. I think everybody appreciate that. Let me get on that. All right, I think you guys can probably figure out why this is called the quirky lock. There's some quirky design features about this and a couple things I really didn't expect to find. First of all, I've color-coded it. It didn't come this way. I color-coded the locking, the shackle itself red on both sides, and this is the part we're interested in because the cutout in the shackle it has this locking pawl in it. The black part that I've colored with a black magic marker is actually all one piece. So the locking hasp pushes against these two springs, which are probably going to jump out of there in just a minute. And then we got this little blue piece, which I'll talk about in just a minute. The first attack, I took a pick, I stuck it up in there, and basically I tried to push this out of the way. So there's a little bit of room, but it doesn't move very far. Now keep an eye on this part of the blue thing, because notice it's pushing up against that little arm that's sticking out there. And he's preventing that entire pawl from moving far enough to disengage from the shackle. So kind of a rudimentary thing. When you look up inside of there, it's pretty easy to see that there's something there. All you need to do is, and this is what I ultimately did, I took a pick, that's going to pop out of there, but I pushed him up out of the way against that spring pressure, and then at the same time I took my pick and then mashed it over to the right, and there goes one of the springs. But it basically, against spring pressure, pushed the locking pawl back out of the shackle, and it popped up. There's normally a spring right there. It popped out. I lost it, but I'm not going to be putting this thing back together, so it doesn't matter. This blue thing really is the only security mechanism to protect against picking. So let's take a look at the key, how it would work. We take the key, and you notice, and I didn't notice it until I figured out the mechanism, there's the longer part right here. So we slide him up inside of there, and again, we got a little spring right there. And he will push that locking. It's probably going to pop out, but you can see how it will push him up. Oh, come on, do it right. Do it right. Do what you're supposed to do. Anyway, it would push him up out of the way, and then you'd be able to move it to the right. Which leads to the question, why all these little pegs? I mean, that wasn't free. They went to some trouble to put those on there, and it certainly didn't come this way. And I got to thinking about it. If they didn't have some kind of key control, any quirky lock key would open any other quirky lock. So this is actually what prevents the wrong key from moving. All the keys apparently will slide up in there, and all of them will disengage that little blue part, but not all of them have pegs in the right place that will allow you to push the locking pawl over and out of the way. Those little pegs, if you get the wrong key, the pegs will get in the way and prevent you from moving it. So at least they took a little bit of effort to put, minimum level of security inside of here. Not a lot, but it's not so easy as to just stick, something in over there and move the locking pawl. It's a little harder than that, and certainly you can't buy any quirky lock and use the key as a master key for all other quirky locks. So again, give them credit for a little bit of trouble, but not that much. Anyway, guys, appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal, and I don't know who sent this to me, Quirky Lock. If it was you, I appreciate the chance to take a look at your lock. Thanks, guys.